welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to be making a Tex-Mex casserole. I'm using a recipe from one of my favorite cookbooks. It's from a vegan blogger, actually. The blog is called Oh She Glows, so I'll show you that recipe in a second. I did want to try your salmon noodle casserole. I didn't have access to salmon this week, so kind of going more with Mexican style just because I usually have that in my kitchen. And then also I am making this more for my fiance than me because I'm on a special low histamine diet for my capstone to try and figure that out. Anyways, side point. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So here is almost all the ingredients that are going to go into my Tex-Mex casserole. This is one of my favorite cookbooks, and I probably already said that, but highly recommend it. So I don't think I have made this once before actually, but I don't make it too often. I'm just not like a big casserole person, but it's called Crowd Pleasing Tex-Mex Casserole. It's not as complicated as it might look like at first. There does seem to be a lot of ingredients, but mainly it's the spices. So anyways, I'll show you what I'm putting in it. So I'm sneaking some spinach because there's someone in my household who refuses to eat leafy greens unless they're hidden. I have some frozen corn, a whole red onion. This is the Mexican seasoning. So cumin, paprika, chili powder, coriander, a couple others, but that's how they wanted me to just blend it all up. A ton of garlic, because there's never enough garlic. A green bell pepper and an orange bell pepper. I'm going to spice it up a little bit more with some jalapeno. And then I've got canned black beans, canned tomato sauce. The recipe does call for a can of canned diced tomatoes, but I also have someone in the house that won't eat tomatoes, but he'll do tomato sauce, so we're working with a picky eater. So I'll go ahead and start mixing this up and show you as I go. So I've got my oven heated to 375, and I have some avocado oil heating up in this pan because the recipe calls to saute for 7 to 8 minutes the red onion, bell pepper, jalapeno, and garlic. So I will go ahead and pour all that in now. I think my oil is hot enough. I left the seeds in the jalapeno. I know a lot of people don't do that. I like it super spicy, and fortunately my fiance does too. I think that's why we get along so well. But I do know that's typically not done, so yeah. And then lastly, a ton of garlic. Okay, sorry. I will kind of mix this together, and the recipe said for about 7 to 8 minutes. So I'm just going to do that, and we'll go from there. So my veggies have been sauteing for about 7 minutes, and I'm going to add the rest of the mix into this bowl and cook it all up. And then I think from there it goes into like a casserole pan and into the oven. So we have the corn, the spinach, which I'm so happy that I'm sneaking that in there. I know that sounds silly, but little victories. Rinsed can of black beans. About 3 cups of rice. I didn't do as much as the recipe said, just to kind of cut down. It is brown rice. And then almost a whole can of tomato sauce. And then the seasoning. And I'll stir that up and cook it for a little bit, and then we'll transfer it into the casserole dish. So I'm just about ready to put this casserole in the oven. I personally don't eat dairy. I've got an allergy, but since I'm not having this dish, there was a request to put cheese on it. So I've got some cheddar cheese there, and then the recipe also called for some crushed up tortilla chips. So I'm gonna put that on top and then the cheese, and then it'll go in the oven, covered in foil for 15 minutes and should be ready to go. So I just pulled the casserole out of the oven for, it was just in there for 15 minutes, so moment of truth. It looks very cheesy. I might put it in there actually for a little bit longer, but otherwise it looks pretty good. So yeah, maybe I'll get a reaction video from my fiance, see how he likes it.
That's good.
What would you change about it?
What would I change about it?
Is it bland?
No, it's got good flavor. Good flavor in it. I don't know. I don't know what I'd change.
Okay.
Maybe the type of beans.
Oh.
Maybe refried beans instead of black beans. I don't know.
Okay. Well, thank you for your input. To end the video, I just wanted to go over a couple things. So first, I chose this recipe because I did want to stick with the whole casserole theme and just kind of playing into that convenience food and using processed and canned foods and still giving it like a healthy twist. I think that's pretty cool idea, just from a client perspective, especially ones that aren't used to cooking for themselves. I think that that's a good way to ease into healthier meals, is something that's going to be quick and doesn't require a lot of time and skill, so they can kind of grow and be more open to maybe a healthier meal. But I think a casserole is a good start for sure, and also just maybe the familiarity, depending if that's something the client ate, ensuring that they can still enjoy foods that they had before, but maybe just tweaking it and adding a few things that are going to be more nutritious and maybe taking away a couple things that aren't as good for them. And then also things that I would change about this recipe, I would have definitely added more spinach. I was kind of looking at it as I was cooking, and the spinach definitely wilted down enough where it's not noticeable at all, so I could have snuck that in a bit more. And then personally, if I was going to have this, I would have not put cheese, maybe have done like a cool cashew cheese sauce. But other than that, I think the recipe turned out really well. It was super easy. The hardest part was just cutting up all the veggies, and you know, that's something you just kind of have to get used to if you want to use good fresh ingredients. But yeah, I think this was a good learning lesson, again, especially just to kind of ease people into cooking. I think this is a great route, and hopefully this video turned out okay, and I will see you next week.